Hi everyone, welcome to my channel Taslima Maya Art. It's really lovely to have you here. If you're new here, please do look at some of my other tutorial videos. They range from fluid art to embellished art to mixed media art and many other types of creative outcomes. Most of them are tutorial videos which are step by step for beginners. So if you like anything you see, please hit the like, share and subscribe. In this week's tutorial, I'll be showing you how I did a bloom transfer swipe, failed it and then saved it over a dry ombre canvas. I also embellished this with an acrylic paint marker and a border around the edge. So the first thing I did is paint my canvas using Amsterdam colours Brilliant Green, Azo Yellow, Cereal Blue and Light Rose. I also mixed up the same four colours including the Arteza Pearl Amethyst, purple and TLP ball gown using my pouring medium, which was Valspar Base C and Josonia varnish at a 3:1 ratio, and I added that to my paints. In each of these tube paints that I just showed you, I'm going to pop in a small tiny scoop or half a teaspoon of each of these colours that correspond, and these are This Little Piggy pigments from Fluid Art Co, and that's really going to give it a bit of a kick in terms of the brightness of the colours that I'm going to use. So specifically they are Nightfall, Ballet Slipper, Blue Eyes, Grunge and Submarine. I made sure I stirred in the pigments really well and slowly so there weren't any clumps in my paint. Now the next step was to take inspiration from another channel, Amanda by Crystal Coast Designs, where she does these beautiful backgrounds. So I was inspired by her work. Do go and check out the channel if you haven't already. But I took a plate and I drew around it using a basic marker, a whiteboard marker, and then I got some acrylic titanium white paint and painted in the background there, as you can see. And then I got my spray varnish and I used Rust-Oleum Crystal Clear and gave it 2 coats of that so I can protect it from the pour that I'm going to do over it. Everyone, so as you can see, I've got my canvas here which I've pre-painted, and I've done this ombre background or blended background with acrylic paints and blended that in. I waited for that to dry, then I drew around a plate, a circle, and then I used Amsterdam titanium white paint to colour in around that. Okay, so I've covered that up so you can see the background there in the middle. And to protect this canvas, I've chosen to spray varnish it. So I've used 3 coats of spray varnish. As you can see, it's quite shiny, and the reason I've done that is I want to protect this background because I am actually going to be doing a bloom swipe transfer for the first time ever, so quite excited about that. I'm not sure how it's going to go. I've never actually done one ever before, genuinely haven't, so this is going to be interesting, and if it's a fail, well, you know, it's a lesson learned, so we'll see. So I've mixed up the colours as I've already shown you. I've got all the bloom consistency paints, very thick, so the same colours as what I have across here, bar 2 I think, which I'll show you in a minute. So this is the light, dusty light pink, I think it was rose, I'm not sure, I'll double check. And then we've got the blue, again I hope you can see that it's very thick, very gloopy, which is what we need. And then also we've got the green, okay, the yellow, Azo Yellow I think, and these are mixed in with, remember, TLPs to give it that additional kick, that you know, shimmer that we really want, that shimmer and shine that we love. And then this purple, there we go. And then finally I added an extra colour which I didn't show you earlier, and this is TLP, This Little Piggy ball gown from fluidart.co. okay, so I'm gonna put that into the mix as well. And I couldn't decide between a white cell activator or a darker one, so this is Amsterdam Oxide Black mixed with Australian Floetrol, and that's at a ratio of about 3.5 to 1. okay, so it's quite watery, as you can see. So we've got that ready. So I hear you ask, what are we going to be pouring on? So what surface are we gonna pour on to then use one of these, which is perfect, I think. And I purchased this in a hardware store. One of these we're going to use to scrape up the bloom swipe and then lay it across here ideally, and we'll see how that goes. I've never really done this before. It's the first time I've ever done this. I've not even practiced it, so it could go either way. So fingers crossed it goes the way we want it to. If it doesn't, it's just another lesson learned, right? So I'm going to move this off and show you what I'm going to be pouring on. Now I don't have many other surfaces to pour on, certainly not a tile as big as I need, so I'm going to be using this piece of glass. Okay, so this is the piece of glass I'm going to be using. I'm going to pour over this, and then I'm going to scoop it up and transfer it onto my canvas. And we'll see how that goes. Now obviously with the darker cell activator we're going to get lacing or cells, darker lines in the cells, and hopefully it won't look too out of whack with the blended background that we have. Okay, so let's do this. I've cleaned this off as much as I can, and I'm going to start off with putting my pillow paint down. Okay, so I've got pillow paint, which is Valspar House Silk Trade, mixed with about 10% water to consistency. It's slightly thinner though than my Bloom colour paints, simply because I mixed it thinner, but normally it would be a little bit thicker if I'd done it properly. So yeah, let's see what happens. So I'm going to put this down, and then hopefully do the bloom swipe on top of it. So again, I'm not 100% sure how to do this. I've watched a couple of videos of other people doing it. Shelley Art, for example, Sheldon Briscoe is another person, and a few other people who've done it really well. So I'm hoping some of that information was retained by my brain, and I can make this even partial successful. I can see a lot of bubbles in this pillow paint, and it is house paint, so ideally I probably shouldn't torch it, but I might do a little bit of torching. There's also some little bits of things that shouldn't be in here, so let's just scoop that out. There we go. I think that's enough. I don't want it to be too thick, but I do want enough so I can scoop it up easily. Okay, I think that's okay. Let's just wipe that off. Okay, so we're back. So I've got the pillow paint down. I'm going to slightly torch it probably, just to get a few of those bubbles out, because I can see a couple. There we go. There we go. And now it's time to put the colours down. Now I'm not going to put them down in any particular order. I'm just going to go with it and see what happens. So I think I'll put the purple down first. And they are very thick, so I'm going to see if I can just put them down on one side. Maybe I can just pour it. There we go. I really hope this works out. I might retain some paint just in case it doesn't. And then we'll put, I think, blue down next. It's so thick, this blue. It's a little bit too thick probably. But no well. And then I will go for green next. I am overlapping the colours because I don't want it all to be blocks of colours, you know, so maybe even doing that is fine. And then we'll go for yellow. You can see lots of big bubbles here as well, so I'll have to maybe torch it a tiny bit or pop those bubbles with a skewer. And then I think I'll put a bit more green down because I really like the green, and there's a lot of yellow there, so I'll break that up a bit. And I don't think I've used any of the pink yet, so let's try that one. have got ball gown, TLP ball gown. Let's look at that. I haven't had time for air bubbles to come out of ball gown because I only just mixed it up. And then let's see if we can put a bit more purple down again, maybe zigzag it. Again, these are very subtle colours, they're not massively contrasting, they're just like really subtle, so I'm not sure what we're going to get at the end, but it'll be interesting. Again, a little bit of blue. Any more? Maybe a bit more ball gown. I think I'm ready. What do you guys think? It's a lot, isn't it? I'm going to quickly pop the bubbles rather than use a skewer. Okay, now it's time for the real deal. So I've got another tool here. It's this, and what I want to do is, I'm just going to move you up a bit. Right? What I want to do is, the camera keeps moving, sorry about that, it's my stand. So I'm going to spread this across now. So I'm going to get all my cell activator onto this palette knife, spatula. I think it's actually a cake spatula, but yeah, I'm just going to put plenty of it on and smooth it across because we want enough of it on there so that we can get some really good cells. So I'm going to make sure I drip any excess off. So I don't want too much, do I? So, ready, steady, go. I'm going to just do my best and push this right across. Swipe right over the top of it, so there goes nothing. Oops, maybe I went a bit too deep with that other end. There you go. Let's see what happens with that. Not as pretty as I thought it would be yet, but I'll give it a minute to see if it develops. Okay, so yeah, we'll wait to see what happens with that. I'm just going to wipe my palette knife off while you watch. Okay, so yeah, so if you can see that, I'm not sure if I can zoom in a little bit. So there are some really pretty cells on this side. I might try and get a straw and see if I can bring some more out. And this is a side I'll probably try and scoop up, or maybe I'll try all of it, but I'll try and scoop up as much of this as possible so that I can lay it over the other canvas and hope that I have enough. And also, I mean, I could spin this a little bit, or stretch it even a bit more. Maybe an idea to stretch that black out because there's some pool of black on the one side. But I don't want to stretch it out too much simply because I'm going to be scooping it up in a minute, which I'm trying to. Okay, right, time for the difficult bit, which I'm slightly nervous about, and that is trying to scoop this up and transferring it. So first thing I'll have to do is pick this up. Okay, I'll put this in its place, because this is where I'm going to put it. Okay, so like I said, I've never done this before. It does seem quite wide, this, doesn't it? The alternative one to use would probably be this one, but again, I need a lot on there to try and put it back onto the thing. Or I could use this one. I guess that's kind of smaller. Again, I don't know if it's big enough. Or finally, we could use this one. I'm not sure if I will be able to do 2 scoops, or maybe I should just do 1. try this one. I mean, what can go wrong if you wipe it off, right? So I'm gonna turn it around. Right, let's see what happens here. So I probably need to go slowly so I don't lose, or probably will lose a lot of the sound. Somehow okay, so I've done that much. Let me just wipe off the bits that are not meant to be on here. Wow, that was a bit nerve-wracking, wasn't it? So yeah, so we obviously don't want that. Probably could scrape it off with something. One of these. Into there. So yeah, I mean there's only so much a scraper can do. Let's just wipe it off now. I hope it don't destroy the canvas in the process. Maybe a wet wipe would be better. I mean I can touch up the white there anyway, so let's just get this bit off here. And we'll try another one. So let me just make sure this is all clean. Oh god, I'm getting more on there. What am I doing? Let's just get all this out. There we go. And then again. I'm just simply narrowing down the other side of it a little bit, simply because I find it a little bit too wide. Okay, so the question is, am I going to leave this as it is, or am I going to do any modifications on it? What do you think? We can probably have a look at it and see what it looks like. It's an interesting look, isn't it? I think I will just wipe away the white here. I'm not sure that kind of goes with it, so I'm going to do that now. Quite easy to do. Just lift it out. The cell lines look quite weak, which is a shame. Big shame. I'm not sure why, but it's something to think about for next time, I guess. It's still very pretty, but I think if I were to do it again, I would try and figure out a better consistency for my bloom paints than I had. Okay, so what do you guys think? I'll bring it up for a closer inspection. I think I might change it drastically. I might mess it up, but I think it needs something. It's taken up too much of my canvas, I feel. So I'm gonna really take off a lot. There we go. I'm gonna mess with it until I feel happy enough with it. Happier with it now. I could probably scrape a bit off the bottom there if I wanted, but I'm not sure if I like the white there. We had are gone. I'm just going to clean up the sides a little bit, and then I'll show you a quick close-up of it. Just want to make sure I've got the yellow off. Oops, there's me touching it again over and over. Didn't mean to do that. I'm just making sure that there's nothing left on the canvas that shouldn't be there. I'm pretty sure it's mostly off. There we go. Perfect. Now I'm happy with that. I don't know what you guys think. I think the only thing I would do differently is make sure my cells look a lot better than they do here. I'm just going to quickly give it a once over with the blowtorch in case there's any bubbles that shouldn't really be there. And I might be able to embellish this as well. So there it is. Okay, so I decided I didn't like it, so I'm going to swipe over it again. And that's the great thing about it being wet paint. You can always keep swiping over it until you're ready and you like what's happening. So I'm just going to add a few more colours, and then hopefully this time my cell lines will be a lot crisper. I'm not a big fan of the cells in here. So there's that one, purple, what goes well with purple, blue. Good job, I've got some of these paints left. I'm not sure what'll happen with this, but worst case scenario, if I don't like it, I can just wipe the whole lot off before it dries. Here I'm just gonna swipe over it with my cell activator, which is black, oxide black, Amsterdam and Australian Floetrol 321, and I'm just going over my colours there with cell activator on my palette knife. And now I'm tilting the design out a little bit so that I can get rid of any excess paint to stop any cracking and crazing as it dries. And also it helps open up those cells a little bit. And I put it on my glass Lazy Susan spinner, and I'm giving it a little spin just to spread that cell activator out, and so that any excess can drip off. Those are very, very pretty. I'm glad that we reverted to using to like doing a swipe instead, because I think I probably need a lot more practice to do the other way. But I want to take you in for a close-up now. So this is what it looks like. It is really quite pretty, and the lighting in here isn't the best, I'm afraid. So this is what it looks like. It's really pretty. It's got all the same colours as in the background, the yellows, the blues, the purple, slight bits of pink. I think we lost most of the pink though, but generally speaking I think it's a really pretty piece to finish with, and I think I will have to try the swipe transfer another time, and I'm going to get more paint off the canvas, so we'll stop here now. So here is the dried result, and I decide to actually embellish it a bit more and bring out some of those cells using an acrylic paint marker. I'll put an Amazon link to the brand I use into the description box below for you. And for the embellishment, I pretty much ad hoc just did some patterns, whatever came into my head really, and did them all on the areas of the painting where there weren't many cells or where there wasn't much interest, to give it that added kind of interest. And I think it looks really nice. I accentuated some of the cell lines with the pen as well, but you know, when you see the finished result, it does look really lovely. Thank you for watching, and please do stay on the Fluid Art Express as we have an excellent lineup for you coming up. Up next is Venom Fluid Art.